unless you smoke another cigarette.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So are you going back and forth on the vape to the thing?
I quit cigs for like 3 months, and then like I had one.
With nothing though? You quit with nothing?
I was doing the vape.
Oh, you were doing the vape. So
Yeah.
you weren't off the nicotine.
No, I wasn't off the nicotine, but I had one at work, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just have another one. And
It's over.
once you have one, it really
Yep.
is over.
You got the thing though. Then you got the bug.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I do everything to the most extreme.
Yeah, and you just like there's no right.
Yeah.
Like if I think about drinking again, there's no sort of like just have a beer here and
go
there.
right back in there.
Oh fuck yeah, man! When I
Yeah.
think about having a beer, I'm like, why not do that every day?
Right.
Wait, why would you not do it every day?
Right.
Weed, same thing. Why would I not do it every day?
Why not?
I know. That's the way the brain works, so I just have to
And then
stop.
you're like, I get my stuff done.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Kinda.
But like we can do that because
I know.
we do this.
Yeah, you got a little more space, but then you
Right.
start to wonder. It's like, am I doing all the stuff I could be doing?
Right.
Eventually, with weed, though, I don't know, like what your experience was with it. My brain is very active, and like my perception, I feel good and everything. But I don't know. I start to feel like I'm detached from real life. You know, like from. Like, you know, you wake up, you're like, I don't know if I'm still high. Am I still high? And then you get high, and you're always like one step to the side of everything, which is nice.
Yeah.
If you want to observe like that.
But sometimes you just want to be like on.
Right.
Yeah. And you can't because you're like stuck.
Yeah.
For like days.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to smoke weed every single day, all day for 8 years.
8 years.
Until like last year.
When did you start that? How old are you now?
I am 23.
Oh, so you're like you're young.
Yeah.
So when you were like in 15 or something?
Yeah, I was like 16. And I started smoking weed because I just didn't have any friends, and then I got invited to this party because I was because I lived around the corner.
Yeah.
And I was like actually around when the person invited another person. And I've never been invited before, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. And they were all like 20 years old, and I was like 16, and they were smoking weed, and I was like, and then I became like their little man.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I hung out with them for a
so
while.
like getting the cat stoned.
Yeah, that's how I made friends.
Let's get Pete stoned.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. That's the worst feeling when you kind of get invited to something just because you're there.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to come? Yeah, you can. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when I was like 16, I'd never been invited before. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go. And then I got caught when I got home because I was wearing sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. There's a giveaway.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock at night.
When you're a teenager, you come home wearing sunglasses.
Home wearing sunglasses.
You're almost like asking.
Yeah.
You're like advertising. Who caught you? Your mom?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know the whole history of you. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Staten Island, New York.
Yeah, see, that's like you got to tell me some shit about Staten Island.
Okay, it's a terrible place, Mark. It's no, like everybody thinks I'm joking when I'm just because.
No, that's the reputation it gets. You're not surprising anybody. Nobody's saying like, "Oh my God, I thought Staten Island was a vacation island."
This is what I told my girlfriend this the other day. You
guys are together still?
We're together.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
And I had like this realization. Because like I always thought there was something wrong with me.
Right.
My whole entire life. I was like, I have no friends. You know, I've been to like 3 different schools. Everybody hates me. Everybody hates me. Nobody likes me. Mm-hmm. So it has to be me.
Right.
And then I left Staten Island, and I was like, it was literally everybody else.
Really?
It was everybody else.
It was so you mean everyone hated Staten Island?
No, I just think it was a bad place.
I see.
Like, I always thought there was something wrong. There is something wrong with me, but like I was like, it can't be everybody.
Right,
like,
right.
Every single person hates me for.
So it was unique to Staten Island that everybody didn't like you.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like everybody there's a Trump person.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Right.
It's the only red place in
New York. Well, my feeling of it was the only other guy I know from Staten Island is Eddie Pepitone.
Yeah,
and you know, when I was in New York, you know, of course everyone knows the dump is there.
Yeah.
But then there was like this, you know, you just thought like, well, a lot of like mafia there, and there's a lot of cops there. It was this weird place where it was just sort of like, you know, criminals and cops and just, you know, alpha monsters roaming the streets with the dump in the background. But who are the people? Why were you there? Was it your family from there?
My whole family was born and raised.
Your grandparents?
Yeah, well, they moved to Jersey like later on, like in their 50s.
To get out, everybody moved to Jersey. That's how bad Staten Island is. To get out, you go to Jersey.
That's like the dream of a Staten Island family. Like one day we'll retire.
To the shore?
Yeah, and move to Jersey.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jersey's nice. I can't badmouth Jersey. I've grown because it is part of my past, and my grandparents are there. I spent a lot of my childhood there, and
Yeah, me too.
And it's nice. I mean, it's like, it's very green, it's very lush. There was good fruit. I remember maybe that was just my grandparents. There was always a lot of fruit around.
No, not my.
Not your family.
No, they're very Irish, very unhealthy family.
Well, did they have stories of when Staten Island was great?
I don't know what they loved it. Everybody from Staten Island that's lived there and still lives there seems to love it.
I guess it's a like-minded thing.
Yeah, like my friends, like my group of like people,
Yeah.
like my age group,
Yeah.
are the first ones I think to start to realize that it kind of sucks. Because I was.
You're the generation?
Yeah, I remember being. I'm like. I remember
once everyone got pictures of other places?
Yeah.
Like, once the internet happened, you're like, oh, look.
No, yeah. Once, like, I think it finally. This, like, Trump thing, I think, really fucked everybody
Oh,
up.
yeah, yeah.
I think it really, like, separated a lot of families and
Oh,
made
yeah?
people look at people differently.
Oh, yeah?
And, yeah, on, like, a intellectual type thing.
Well, I'm not sure what it's going to take to get people to turn on this guy, but some people are.
It's, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole family.
There's a commitment to, like, well, I think those type of New Yorkers, I don't know, they'll let him off the hook for everything because they like his attitude.
Right.
It's a very specific type of New York bigot.
No, yeah, my family's the type of people that are like, oh, he's hilarious.
Right.
You
Right,
know?
right. And also they're like, fuck them.
Yeah, they're like, no, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, yeah.
They like it.
Yep.
I think it's exciting.
Right. It's got nothing to do with policy or lying or
It's all swag.
Yeah. It's swag and bigotry.
Right.
And there's definitely a certain type of like Queens, I imagine Staten Island racist guy that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like most of those people of that generation.
He speaks to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an old New York type. It's just, I'm just sort of surprised that what surprises me most about him is just how the sort of, right-wing Christians have latched onto him because this is their window. So they're like, we'll make a deal with literally Satan.
Right.
to meet our agenda. I've never seen a more satanic guy, just a charming guy that never speaks a word of truth, and he's completely morally bankrupt, and people are like, I love this guy.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's the devil.
It's to the point where I don't even know what to say about it anymore.
It's hard to talk about.
It keeps going.
That's part of the plan, though, to get us all exhausted and frightened.
It's terrible.
It's working.
I can't think about anything else.
You can't?
It's just shoved down your throat.
You keep looking at the phone?
I just keep looking at it. I'm just like just reading articles all day about something I can't do anything about.
That's right. The powerlessness.
I can't change anything.
Yeah.
But I'm so infatuated with all this information.
It's hard to filter because a lot of times it's the same article taken on by a bunch of different angles. Right. And then there's opinion pieces. Where I'm like, is this a real article? It's someone's point of view. Okay. Like, I have to differentiate because you just go by the clickbait. You just go by the headlines. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So Staten Island. So you're there. You're there in the weird darkness of Staten Island.
Yeah.
And, when you were growing up, what'd your mom do? What your dad was in the fire department when you were a kid?
Yeah. My dad was a fireman. And my mom was a nurse. Very typical Staten Island type of.
And she worked at the hospital in Staten Island?
She worked at the hospital in Staten Island.
Is she a nice lady?
She's a sweet lady.
Oh, good.
My mom's the best.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she's a very, very nice lady.
I don't like knowing that nurses are monsters.
No. No, there's good people in Staten Island.
Yeah.
It's just the whole.
The vibe.
The vibe and the aura of it is pretty awful. Something just seems off.
It's
it just
so
seems
close
like,
to the museums.
Like when The Walking Dead first starts, and you go outside and you look around and it's just very desolate.
Yeah.
It feels exactly like that every time I get over the bridge.
And you know the dead people.
Yeah.
Like, there he is, the kid I went to high school with.
Still at the pizza place, still like 25 years old, still like, what's up, pussy?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking come back home. They're all still like that.
Yeah. Well, what do you think's going to happen?
Staten Island is filled with people who peaked in high school.
Right.
That's what it's still like this 17-year-old macho mentality that they carry through the rest. Yeah, I fucked that girl and got her pregnant.
Yeah.
And they're like proud. And
right.
Everybody has babies when they're like 19 and they start a family. And then they make those people like them.
Yeah, they're exactly.
And that's why it keeps getting worse. Most people that are born there don't leave.
Yeah.
Like they never go to the city.
Island people are weird.
Like going
to
the city, the first time I went, I was like, what the fuck is this place? This is insane. There's people selling hot dogs on the street. You know?
How old were you?
I was fucking like 14 years old.
You were 14?
I mean, I went to the city like once or like twice to see the tree or whatever.
Yeah,
or, but like, you know, that doesn't, it just feels like a mom type trip.
Right,
like,
but as a separate kind of person.
I went by myself. I fucking flipped out. It was the craziest thing that's ever happened
I can't believe it was that long.
No, it was incredible.
14?
Yeah.
Oh my! It's like you were like in prison.
Yeah, I've never been to Manhattan. I've been to like Brooklyn and like Staten Island, but that's pretty much it.
What? Because you have family in Jersey.
My dad worked in Brooklyn Heights. That was where the firehouse was.
Oh, he was. That's so every day he had to go over there.
Yeah.
So when you were a kid, did you go to the firehouse and shit?
I went a bunch.
Yeah.
I really liked the firehouse. I thought it was like really
great.
cool, and it was also like, you know, it was cool. You get to go down the pole.
Sure.
And, like,
And firehouses in New York are spectacular.
Yeah.
They're just so glorious.
It's really cool, and they're like little heroes. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody loves firemen.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And there's that one that used to. There's one down by the old on 3rd Street. You know, that used to be right next to the Boston Comedy Club. That I think that Anderson Cooper made into a condo. And then there's that one. There's that one right on, like, you know, like at 3rd and like Bowery. There's a big, beautiful one. It's one of my favorite buildings in New York.
The ones down there are really nice.
They're just glorious. I mean, they're really old, I think.
Yeah.
So your dad was a fireman. Now, I guess most people know what happened, but what happened?
So he died 9/11.
Oh, right. So planes flew into buildings.
So a plane flew into a building.
Yeah, right.
And then they were actually the first truck over the bridge.
Your dad's truck was?
Yeah, because it was right next to the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Because of Brooklyn Heights and the
right.
bridge
Yeah.
was right there.
Right.
So they were like one of the first people there, and then pretty much the whole firehouse was gone.
And how old were you?
7.
So you knew all these guys.
Yeah.
Like you'd go to the station house and
they were like my friends.
Yeah,
you know, you know, I was there all the time.
Oh,
so.
so fucking awful, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. It's still a little rough.
Yeah, I don't know that you ever really fully get over something like that. So like you're 7, so you can barely process what happened.
Yeah, I know. All I knew was everybody started getting picked up from school.
Yeah,
for like
in Staten Island.
Yeah, you know, and my dad worked, and my mom was working, so like I was like one of the last people to get picked up.
Yeah. Who picked you up?
My mom picked me up.
Yeah.
And then I just went to, I think, my mom's cousin's house, and then she was like, "You're not allowed to watch TV." She's like, "No TV for you." So I thought I was in trouble.
Yeah.
I didn't know like what was going on.
And she probably didn't quite know either, right?
No, nobody really knew until like a week or so. Really.
But by the time you got picked up, both towers had fallen.
I'm pretty sure.
What a fucking time.
We were all set, so nobody was telling us what was going on.
You're just a bunch of kids in a room?
They were just like, school's done. And we were all like, awesome. Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't really find out. I was just like, eventually, like a day or two went by from what I can remember. And I was like, where's Dad? And
right.
then, like, she had to explain. And my parents just got divorced at that point, like 6 months ago.
So you'd just been through that hell?
So it was just really rough then, and then it started to look like it was starting to get used to both sides, and then that happened, and then like, you know, my mom was like, if he comes home, we'll get back together. It was...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fucked up. It wasn't really cool. And my sister was 3, so like it was like...
Oh my God. So your mom said, like, you know, to sort of buffer it. Yeah. She said, if he comes back, we'll get back together.
Yeah.
Though hope was slim.
Yeah. She was probably deep in her mind, like, don't fucking be alive. I don't want to get back
together. Oh, God. No.
No, but, it was very...
What were they like together? Do you remember?
From what I can remember, I was set... So I have like a year maybe of memories. Like I remember it in pictures. I remember a happy family. Sure. I don't remember... Once in a while, I would remember them fighting, and then I remember like hiding under my bed.
Yeah.
Maybe like a handful of times.
Right.
And then I just remember them being like, "Hey, we're not going to live together anymore." And I was like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah.
You know, so I don't really
Was
remember
he close
much.
by?
Yeah, he wasn't too far away.
Yeah. But that happened like a few months before the horrible thing?
That probably happened like I would say 9 months the most. I don't remember.
So when your mom tells you this, that, you know, they're looking, is that what she said? That they're still looking for people? How's she frame it?
Right. She was like, "Yeah, we don't know. He could be under something."
Oh, right. Oh,
we
that's
were
right.
At this point, we're just like, because they had a rough time finding people.
Yeah,
so,
right. There was weeks of that. You know, maybe there's still people alive in the wreckage.
Yeah. So there was like a rumor that like there's a hotel in there or like some sort of a lobby there.
Yeah, right.
And he was allegedly seen helping a bellhop and a group of people.
Oh, right.
I don't know if it was a bellhop, some sort of a bellhop type guy.
Yeah.
So we thought maybe he was like trapped in a kitchen, and it was like food everywhere, and like he was just chilling, waiting.
Yeah, waiting
you
to
make
get
up
out.
a lot of shit
when you're a kid, huh?
Yeah. So
So then when did it really sort of like sink in?
I don't, a lot of it I don't remember, but I know it was like probably a week or two where we were just like, everybody, you know.
Devastated.
Yeah. And then like, and here's how shitty Staten Island kids are.
Yeah.
I still got picked on like the next day.
And they knew.
Yeah.
Did they pick on you with that?
No.
Oh,
but they were just still mean, just still like, fuck this kid. Like, yeah, I actually had one kid be like, he actually became my friend for a little bit. And he was like, I'm inviting you over because my mom told me to, because your dad died.
That's how he put it?
I was in third grade. I was like, okay, I'll see you Friday after school.
That's fucking heartbreaking.
It was fucking awful.
Why did they pick on you to begin with? What was your particular vulnerability that they all decided to bully you?
I was funny looking.
Yeah.
I used to rip my hair out of my head.
Before or after?
After.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was in fourth grade, I was like bald. I looked like I had, you know, like
from ripping your hair out?
Ripped all my hair out.
Do you know what compelled you to do that?
I don't know. It was just like a tick after that happened. I just couldn't stop.
Really?
Twirling and ripping my hair out.
What else? What other things happened, like physically?
I don't.
You don't remember?
I was in therapy I was in therapy a few months before it happened
because of the divorce.
It was like a family thing.
Yeah.
And then it just I just continued from
with
that.
the same guy.
Same lady, and then just like when that happened, since all the kids were so young, I think like a lot of like one time these doctors from like Columbia like came over my house and like interviewed me, and I think they were doing like a lot of like research, maybe
studying the kids, the 9/11 kids.
Yeah, and they would ask me like really fucked up questions. They would like be like, "Do you think your dad's alive though? Like, do you think he's like out there?"
Yeah, with that tone.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, and I'm like, no. If he is, he's a dick. If he's fucking hanging out there,
yeah,
not coming home. But like, yeah, it was like a lot of like, I would go to like Cornell.
Really? They flew like a bunch of kids?
I assume. I know I had a really rough time. I don't know how anybody else really handled it, but like I would have to go all the way to the city to do like that.
Yeah.
So like it was.
Were there other kids in your neighborhood that lost their parents?
No, I didn't really know anybody until there was this 9/11 camp that they had.
Get out.
This is called America's Camp.
Really?
It was a camp for all the children who lost a parent.
Really?
It was fucking awesome, dude. It was sick.
How, like the year after or when?
Maybe 2 years after they started it, or a year after.
Right.
And then it went for like until everybody turned like 17. And
so you go every year?
I went for 5 years. I think my mom waited like 2 or 3 years to see, because she was too like scared to send me. But then once you went, and it was like just all these kids that are all pretty much the same age.
Well, that's sort of like amazing.
It was incredible. It was a really good time in my life, and I have a lot of good memories from that. And all the counselors, they come from all over the world. So, like, people from, like, Ireland, Wales.
Really?
Like, Welsh people, and, like, people from England. Like, hardly any, like, Americans.
How many kids?
It was probably, like, maybe 200-300 in the camp.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
That's like a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and then like my sister started going because she got old enough, and then we went together. Yeah, it was really, really sweet.
And it was just a regular camp. Did any of you guys, the kids, talk about it? I mean, was there any like? Did they? I mean, it was sort of hanging over the camp. You all knew why.
We all knew why we were there. But like,
right.
I think like one of the main rules was like, don't like. Shaking like something in your face, like here's ice cream or whatever.
Right.
So like, but there would be like moments where like at the end of the camp, like last night, where they have like campfire or whatever, and they're like, you know why we're all here, and they have like very nice like poems, and people read stuff, and they had like Taylor Swift performed at our camp, but she was like 15, or whatever. Like, so they got people to come and play, and it was really nice.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
It could have been the worst fucking thing ever. It could have been really bad, but
yeah, I guess it was really a matter of how it was run. Yeah. I mean, you know, how could it have been bad if everybody was just miserable? But your kids.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job at distracting people, and they had like this room called like the volcano room, which is just like a bunch of punching bags, and like you could like smash stuff and like break walls, and like
And was that popular?
Yeah, it was very popular. There was a lot. It was always like, it would be funny, like kayaking. They'd be like, anybody want to go? We have 10 places.
Yeah.
And like Volcano Room would be sold out to like Thursday. With like a line around the corner.
Go hit shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful. So it's boys and girls, all ages, I guess, up to what, 16, 17?
Up to 16, 17. And then if you turn 16, 17, you become a counselor.
But you didn't do that?
I did for like a year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. For like one of the last years.
And how did your sister? How does your sister have any memories of this stuff? Did she process it differently than you? Or
I don't think she knows who the dude is.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
right.
But it definitely affects her. But I don't know if like me and my sister aren't really like the closest.
Right.
You know, like since like I moved out and like we're kind of at that. She's in college. I'm doing this type thing.
What's a 4-year difference?
4-year difference.
Yeah.
So you know, we talk about it. Obviously, makes her sad. But I don't know if it like if she. It's worse for her or better.
Right.
I don't know. I could see like the positives to both sides.
To not, yeah,
because you have a little bit of a memory. Personally, I would like to not know.
Right.
I wish I was in her position.
Like you didn't know the guys at the firehouse.
Yeah.
You didn't know, your dad. You didn't, yeah.
I would like to just start no dad.
Yeah.
I would love to do that instead of watching, because it kind of taught me what like death is.
Yeah.
And
too young in a way.
Yeah, that life could just be taken. You know, like usually you get to high school, a couple kids, kill themselves in their garage.
Yeah, right. Car accident.
Yeah, car accident. You kind of like
grandparent dies.
Yeah, you start like realize you're like, oh, okay, we're not invincible.
Right.
But like right out the fucking gate.
And
like,
something that global. And that horrible.
It was at the time the biggest tragedy that's ever happened.
It still is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's completely.
It's definitely top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right up there.
Yeah. Us tragedy people, we fight about it all the time at our meetings, but.
But it's astounding. That camp story is just beautiful. I wonder whose idea that was. Do you know?
I don't know exactly whose idea it was.
Where was it?
It was in Massachusetts, on like a lake, like a real
phenomenal.
camp went there.
Yeah.
And
it was what, for like 2 weeks, 4 weeks?
It was a week.
A week.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And like all these people from all over the world, so you're seeing, like a global community around.
Yeah. It's just this whole group, and every counselor was just like incredible and like so sweet, and like there was no problems. It was really a great
That's a great story.
Yeah.
So like as you go, so you're doing the camp every summer, but you're still in high school and you're still getting shit, and then what's playing out for you in high school around in retrospect that you can attach to, the tragedy?
How am I doing in school?
Well, yeah,
I'm acting out a lot. In elementary school, I acted out a lot. I was like known as like a crazy kid.
Yeah.
People would laugh at me and with me.
Yeah.
Like I was a dude that would make someone laugh and then keep hammering away at the same thing and then not stopping.
And then everyone stops
And then
laughing.
everyone eventually is like, dude, we're trying to like study. Like you fucking like chill.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was like, and then when I got to high school, I kind of was like quiet, and I started doing like these videos for the news channel in the morning for the school. I used to film the football team and then make like a highlight tape with like music in the background.
Straight up.
Yeah.
No funny.
No funny.
Right.
Like just like hits,
Yeah.
sync the music to the hits. Like,
So you're learning something.
Yeah, I was having fun, and then people were like, these videos are incredible, but nobody knew who I was.
Right.
And then once people found out who it was, they didn't like me.
Why?
I don't know. It must have been my fault. There must have been something that I was doing, because like I can't explain to you like
the resentment, like
I don't know what it was. I really don't. I mean, like was I like probably annoying? Yes. Was I acting out? Yes. But I wasn't like a mean person or like.
You were probably kind of like, I think that from acting out, after a certain point, there's an annoying element to it, but then you realize the person's probably, fundamentally insecure, needs attention, looking for something, so why not bully that kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I bet like. Obviously, I'm the person you invite somewhere and you avoid.
Yeah.
At that time,
But
I didn't
get
like.
invited, though.
I had like one friend. We would hang out. We wouldn't go out. We weren't invited places. We would just sleep over each other's houses and like watch TV and movies.
How's that kid doing?
He's good.
Good.
I don't talk to him much, but we're still friendly.
Oh, good.
You know,
good,
he's very supportive and very nice.
Yeah. So when do you take the step to to perform, to actually perform, as opposed to just acting out, to act out with a context?
Yeah. Well, I was always a huge fan of comedy. Like I saw Eddie Murphy Delirious when I was like 10.
On the video?
I got a DVD, and my mom thought it was an Eddie Murphy movie, and we used to have like a one in the car, one of those like Tahoes that have.
Sure.
So we were playing it, and she was obviously flipping out. And
right, with the language and everything, yeah.
But she was cool, and she was like, you could watch it like at home, just like not around your sister. And I was like 10, so I was like, oh, fuck, all right, cool. You know, so I got very into...
That's what, so she gave you a longer leash.
Yeah.
She
let me get away
Kid's
with
been through a lot.
Yeah.
Let him watch the dirty black guy.
Yeah.
And that planted the seed?
Yeah, then I just became like obsessed, and it was to the point where I could do the whole special.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Dane Cook came out.
Yeah.
And I was like 13, 14, and
that was the
MySpace.
That was the time.
That was like the time. I've never even heard of like a comedian like albums coming out.
Right.
Like, you know, so he was a really big fucking deal.
Yeah.
To like especially kids like us.
Yeah.
Like we would go nuts.
Right, on Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody would lose their mind. And then when I was like 16, I was in high school.
Did you tell Dane that?
I did. I did tell him.
How'd he take it?
Yeah. Well, he's, you know, he knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a funny thing when you start meeting your heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to do that, right?
Yeah, you get to do that.
Did you meet Eddie?
Never.
Not yet?
Oh, I did. I met him once at an SNL thing. It was like right before the 40th anniversary special, and he was there, and I just went up to him. I was like, hey, man, just wanted to shake your hand. Like, just like, nice to meet you. See you later. And he was like, how old are you? And I was like, 20. And he's like, you're going to be just fine.
That's what he said?
Yeah, you're going to be just fine. That's really cool.
Yeah. So he knew you were on the show. He wasn't like, who's the annoying kid?
Yeah. Okay, it was for the first time.
Right,
it wasn't,
right.
You know, once I started doing comedy is when I started making friends.
Right.
That's when I met people that were exactly like me, and most comics also have a pretty horrible past.
Of one kind or another.
Yeah, something's off.
But yours is very specific.
Yeah.
Like you're still going to trump everybody else.
Yeah, but comedians are so like they'll be like, yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
like that's how they they'll be like, I'm
yeah.
going through this as well.
I get it.
So I immediately just like loved stand up.
Well, how did it happen that you first did it?
I was on a basketball team, and
were you good?
I was good.
Yeah.
I was good. I not like great.
Mm-hmm.
I could hit 3-pointers. And I could play defense. I couldn't dribble or like do anything super athletic.
You could shoot good though, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was like a stand-up competition in Staten Island at this place called the Looney Bin. The Looney Bin is a comedy club inside of a bowling alley.
I've done bowling alleys.
Next to a LA Fitness.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Yeah, and a Wendy's.
In a strip mall?
Parking lot. It's like, no, it's in a parking lot.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah. So, you know, the thing about that club is like when you're bombing, you just hear people bowling and getting like strikes. Yeah.
So like, who were the acts? Had you ever been there before?
I've never been there. I just went. My friends.
How old were you?
I was 16. And
your friends talk you into it?
The kids on my basketball team. These two kids they would like be mean to me in front of the team.
Yeah.
But then like when we were alone, they'd be like, "Hey man, you should do that stand up thing."
Yeah.
Like it was very weird,
Yeah.
but I took it. So,
that's weird. Where you realize that some of the fucking shit talk is just sort of like they still like you.
They still like me. Yeah, there was like there was like, two kids on the team.
Yeah.
And there was one kid on my I played basketball my whole life until I was a junior in high school.
Uh-huh.
And this kid was always nice to me, and our parent was friends.
Yeah.
And we would hang out, but if we were ever in front of anybody, I would just get abused.
Yeah.
For no reason.
And then afterwards he'd be like, "Hey,
and
sorry,
after,
buddy."
he'd be like, "Hey man, you know I love you."
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, but why don't you not do that?
Why don't you tell them that you love me? I mean, you know, we hang out all the time.
Poor
man.
guy.
Yeah.
You got beat up.
It was so bad.
You couldn't do nothing about it.
Now I find it funny.
Right.
But like it was pretty
hurtful.
shitty. Yeah.
Well, I guess they just, I imagine like you must have been sort of like, you know, the effect of losing a parent and having that weird kind of need and vulnerability and like, you know, wanting to be friends with people.
Yeah.
It's
like,
so,
please, someone like me.
Yeah.
I was just like, please, I'm looking for any reassurance in anything, you know, and just Staten Island was the wrong place to be at that time.
For that. It doesn't come in, you know, there's not a billboard when you get over the bridge that says Staten Island, home of supportive people.
Yeah. I was even kind of the odd man out at that camp.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, come on.
No, okay.
Wait, were you?
No. I was like, maybe early on, but then like the first couple of days, but then eventually.
Well, you imagine it must have been interesting at the camp because you probably had, you know, the kids of public service people.
Yeah.
But also the kids of wealthy, you know, investors.
It's
like
everybody.
The class diversity must have been profound.
But also everybody was from somewhere else but Staten Island. And they all seemed to have like friends at home and like stuff like this. So like it was all still.
You were there representing Staten Island.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what do you do when you go do the comedy?
So I went there, and there was like 6 people in the audience, and I went up.
6. That's good. That's safe.
6 to 8.
Yeah.
My mom was at the bar. I didn't let her come in.
Yeah.
And it went okay. It went okay. And
okay's good for 8.
Yeah.
You know, that's like 3 people laughing.
Yeah.
That's good. That's okay.
There was a couple people laughing, and
what were you doing? Jokes?
I was doing jokes like about like my dad. You know, I don't remember exactly what it was. I used to do this joke about I had a mongoose, and my mom said, I asked her if I can get a car. And she said I can get a mongoose, and I got all excited. And then obviously I found out it was a bike. And I used to be like, you know, I'm 16, so you know, I'm into cougars. You know, is there any like 20-year-olds in that? You know, very hacky.
No, but like it's good because you got the benefit of the doubt because you were a kid. And they weren't going to be like your friends,
right?
And be assholes to you. Like they're at least going to be like, oh, look at the kid trying to do something.
Yeah, the kid act worked until I was like 18. And then all of a sudden it stopped, and then I actually had to start writing jokes,
right?
Because I thought I would be able to like skate by and do this.
So right when you did it, you realized like this is it.
Yeah, I was like, this seems like a lot of fun. I would like to put as much effort and time into this as I can. Yeah. I stopped doing the basketball thing. After school, every day, I would go to the city to do open mics. You did? For like 2-3 years.
Really? So, so you're traveling in. Now, what was this stomach problem you had?
Oh, I have Crohn's.
That's all that's in the research. It's like his dad died on 9/11.
I have Crohn's.
He's got Crohn's disease and he's on SNL.
Yeah. Crohn's is that's a good bio.
That's the bio.
Yeah. SNL's always the afterthought whenever anybody ever talks to it.
Right. 9/11.
9/11.
Crohn's.
Crappy tummy. And then 9/11. And then
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? I mean, I know one person maybe who had it.
It's like this disease where you shit all the time and you lose a lot of weight and you feel really sick and your stomach always hurts. Is
it stress related or is it disease or what?
I am told I have a disease. I think stress makes it worse.
Sure.
But, you know, I got it when I was like maybe 16, 17.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it was really bad, maybe even younger. It was really bad for like 3 years until we stopped going to like Staten Island doctors. And like we went to this guy in the city and then immediately fixed it.
Really?
Yeah, immediately fixed.
Well, what were they doing on Staten Island?
I don't know. You know, I had people looking in my butthole all the time, like, you know, doing all this shit, and like nothing was working. I was just getting sicker and sicker, and then you know, I smoked a lot of weed and like tried to made it a little bit better. But then this guy and
go to the city.
I got this thing called Remicade, which is an IV drip for like 3 hours. Yeah, and you just sit there, and then you feel good for like a month or two, and then you get another one.
Really?
Yeah.
So Staten Island they were just sort of like, what is this?
I don't know what we're doing. Yeah.
Don't eat the whatever.
And my mom was a nurse, so she would be like, go to my friend. Go to this other friend.
This doctor, right.
You know, in Staten Island.
Yeah.
You know?
You would think it's so close to real medicine.
I know there's real medicine a bridge away. It's like, it's crazy.
I think it's indicative of probably a bigger problem in the health services in terms of certain communities. You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah. So, you know, if
you got it under control.
We got it under control now.
Do you still do it?
Do I still do shit?
Yeah.
Do I still shit?
Yeah.
Well, now it used to be like 30, 40 times a day.
Come on.
Yeah, when it was at its peak.
Come on.
Yeah, and yeah, my asshole just looks like a porn star's asshole. It's just like a gape. Like
always, always open.
A lot of flow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for like 2-3 years, it would be like 40. You know,
oh my God.
But it would be normal. It was to the point where it was normal.
That was just your life.
And now I go like once a day.
Oh, like a person.
Like a person.
No good.
And it is incredible.
I don't want to I'm going to hurt some people's feelings out there who have Crohn's disease or, twice a day people. Yeah, I don't.
No, yeah, sometimes twice.
Wow.
Most 3, but
wow.
It's
and
a
you
treat.
still do the treatment?
I still do the treatment.
It's good that they have something.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So now you're smoking weed. You're on an IV. You're going to the city.
Yeah.
To do stand up. Where were you doing it?
I was doing a lot of like Lower East Side, and comedy clubs.
Which one?
Eastville.
Oh, Eastville.
Broadway.
Eastville's like got the worst sound.
It is.
Like, it's a nice little room, but you like put a rug down. But it's fucking tiles.
What's crazy is when you first start, every room is incredible.
Yeah.
You're like, this place exists, and I get to perform.
I'll go to Eastville like because it's around the corner from where I stay in New York. Sometimes I'll just drop in there, and like I went there like it was the night before I did Carnegie Hall. I went in there with Nate Bargatze and tanked. I just bombed, and I was like, I needed this. This is good. I'm about to do Carnegie Hall tomorrow. I needed to be humbled by Eastville Comedy Club.
Eastville Comedy Club.
Yeah. But it's like it's one of those weird rooms where the sound just bounces around a bit.
Yeah.
But you were doing like the. But when did you get into the Cellar?
I got in at the
Probably
Cellar.
not till after SNL, right?
No, before.
Oh, good.
I got lucky.
Who championed you?
Who championed me?
Norton?
No, who was it? I think my agent did it. At
Really?
The time. Yeah.
And Esty just liked you.
I got very lucky. I think I was like 18 or 19.
She wouldn't let me into my HBO half hour, and even then it was conditional. And I'm like 10 years in.
Yeah.
She's like, all right.
No, I hear stories of people that are like, it took me like 7. I kind of just walk right in.
And then it was hit or miss there. So like to the point where like I'm wary now.
Yeah.
To call in for spots because like and I told
you could just show up.
I think I can
you
now.
You could show up.
Yeah, I can
now.
now.
Absolutely.
But there was a period there, like, after the podcast and after, like, I'd done, I was a known guy where I wouldn't put in because I didn't know, like, I forget which day to call. And I had this fear that I would be in New York for 2 days and I just want to sit there and, eat the fucking, the
wings,
and whatever. And the chicken skewers and just hang out with my friends and do like 7 spots over Friday and Saturday.
Right.
But my fear is I'd call up, she's going, I have the 1:30 on Friday. And I'm like, I can't do it.
I can't do it. It's too late.
Yeah, well, I just can't.
Because the 1:30 doesn't really start till 2.
I know, but I just didn't want to be that guy. Like, sorry, Mark Cohen is in town and John Joseph is here. Is Attell has to do 9
and
shows.
And then she'll see you when you haven't come by. She'll be like, why you now come by?
Yeah. Because you don't put me on.
Yeah.
No, but I'm being mean. She's gotten nicer.
She's the sweetest.
Yeah. And the place seems good. I don't think to put in there when I go. I should just go over and do a set.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go over.
Yeah. But you did a stand?
Did the stand for a while.
So what else was around? Stand Up New York?
Stand Up New York.
You were running around.
That was like a big hike, though, for me.
Right, from Staten Island.
From Staten Island, you when you get in there, you're in like the financial district. So like going all the way up to 78.
78.
It's like what the fuck.
So it was primarily the Cellar, Eastville, the Stand, and Boston.
The Cellar, not till I was like 18, 19.
So just
it was mostly bars.
Oh, really?
And like comics would have to like.
Oh, the comic shows.
Yeah, comic shows, and then like I did a couple bringer shows.
Ooh.
And then I kind of realized that like. Those aren't really the way to go when you're trying to
work new material
or do stand up at all.
I know, just
because
like,
I didn't know like
20 comics waiting to get on.
I didn't know you became this guy that like they'll be like, oh, this guy could bring 20 people.
Oh yeah,
so
that
we're
was
gonna
it.
keep asking him to do it. And I was like, they want to book me.
Yeah, you're wearing out your friends.
Yeah. Oh, no, none of my friends come to this day because of the first year of stand up. And I'm like, well, you were watching was awful. There was nobody there. I was like, they're like, no, I'm not going.
You were doing the same jokes that didn't work the last time.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not doing that. Buying 2 drinks.
They won't even watch you on SNL. Can't do it.
No.
That's hilarious. So when did you finally start to kind of come into your own? When did the Cellar happen? Who else? Who'd you start with? You got friends that came up the same time?
Jordan Rock.
Oh yeah.
Ricky Velez.
I don't know him.
Who else was kind of Soder?
Uh-huh.
Dan Soder.
Uh-huh.
He's been doing it way longer than me and is a way better comic. But we all kind of started like popping off a little bit.
Isn't that nice when you find the dudes that you're hanging out with, you know, like the women, whatever, but with the people that are your generation.
Yeah, like your group of guys.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
the best.
Yeah, doing like open mics together.
Go
like,
eat, 2
getting
in the
jealous
morning.
of each other and stuff.
Good joke, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, you want a tag?
Yeah.
All right.
And then you like get mad if they give you a tag.
Yeah.
And then if it's good,
you're like, fuck. Can I use it?
Can I use it though? Yeah. And then now you owe them one.
Yeah, tag.
Yeah.
I was never good at tags. I was like, if I ever suggested anything to anybody, it'd be the worst. Like, they'd go do it and just be like, "That not only did that bomb, but it made people unhappy." I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was funny. I guess I have a different way of doing it. So how does SNL happen? Are you working as a comic? Are you going out?
I was getting
doing road work.
I was getting I was doing well getting spots. I would have like 5 on a Friday, 5 on a Saturday.
At the Cellar.
4, and then like 2 every day during the week. I was doing it every day.
Right.
And I was living
coming in from Staten Island.
No, then I moved to Brooklyn Heights when I was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I went to college for a year.
Where?
At St. Francis.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then after like my sophomore year, after like a semester, I just stopped because I got an MTV show. Mm-hmm. And
what show was that?
It was like Guy Code or something.
How'd you get that? So you got an agent?
I got an agent, and someone saw me opening for someone that was on the show.
Right.
And then they offered me, you know, and it wasn't like crazy. It was just like, I was like, I have to put all my effort into this right now and see if it could actually go anywhere.
Right.
And then if it doesn't, I could always.
What was that show?
It's just like Talking Head. You're just like in front of a green screen and there's like a hip hop beat and you're like, girls talking about crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Very, you would hate it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like it now.
I remember those Talking Head shows when I was coming up, I was already well into it, like on VH1, like the 80s,
right,
the 90s. You know, the 70s, whatever it was, they just asked comics to work for nothing.
Yeah.
And you'd go up there.
$300.
Yeah,
You just go up there and just rant.
When you're sort of a comic and you have some talent and they don't know what to do with you, your manager always has you do like things like, well, you know, they want you to host these segments on VH1.
Right.
You know, and then you're there and they put you in clothes you don't want to wear. And you're like,
and they're all hip clothes.
Yeah. And you're doing like Tony Braxton's bio. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to me? You know, like, I can't, like, it's so embarrassing. But, you know, it all adds up.
Yeah.
I think I must have earned something.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that stuff didn't really happen.
Yeah, like, you just got to be that talking head guy forever.
It's the advantage of being very young.
Yeah, but you're kind of a character. So, you know, you got to, you know, you're not just young, but, you know, you got your own, you know, groove.
Right.
You know, you have this, you're unique. So, all right, so you do the MTV thing.
I did that, and then I met Nick Cannon, and he signed me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I used to open for him.
Yeah.
For like a year or two, and that was fun.
He signed you? What do you mean?
He was my manager.
He's a comic?
Kind of. I mean, like, he's one of those guys that does everything.
Yeah.
And so whenever he decided to do stand up, I would be his guy, and I would help him like write stuff.
So he was your manager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So why did you decide to go with him? Just because of that resume?
Yeah, I was like 17, 18. I was, nobody was, barking at my door or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just went with him, and he seemed like a really nice guy. And then I opened for him for like a year or two. And then I did his show Wild 'N Out, which is like a hip hop improv show, which was really uncomfortable for me. And it gives me chills whenever I hear the name Wild 'N Out.
What did you have to do?
It's like dissing people, like rap style.
Yeah.
Like, yo, your shirt is whack.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you know, like, I bet your mom comes from so-and-so.
Yeah, did you write them, or was it improv?
No, everybody would write them.
Yeah.
You know, before the show.
Were you a rap fan? Were you a rap
I love
kid?
rap. I'm just not that guy.
Right.
I'm not like, yo, let me tell you something. You know? I'm really not that guy. And, like, it was, like, embarrassing.
Yeah.
I felt really embarrassed.
Yeah.
And what sucked was they were all so excited and so good at it, the rest of the cast. And then I became friends with Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
And she gave me a tiny little part in Trainwreck.
Right.
And I met Bill Hader. And then Bill Hader seemed to like me from that.
What were you in Trainwreck? I saw it.
I was it was like an extra, like I was like laying on a bed in the hospital.
Oh,
and they were
okay.
like, what happened to you? And I was
Yeah.
like, I tripped on a bong.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like
yeah.
around athletes.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, so I guess he liked it, and then I got a call.
Bill did?
Yeah, I got a call from my team, and they were like, "Hey, Bill Hader recommended you to Lorne Michaels for SNL." And I've never. That's something I never even like had a dream about because it's so not me.
Right.
Like I don't know how to act or do characters or impressions. I don't look like anybody.
Right.
I can only talk about my dick and my mom at this point. So I was like, I'm still at that point, by the way. I still don't have much to talk about. I haven't lived anything yet, and now I just work.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to experience life ever, which is a big fear of mine. Anyway, back to the story. So I didn't think much of it. And then I auditioned, I did stand-up on a show where everybody did characters.
Yeah.
And
Where was that?
It was, I think at a UCB or something in the city.
Right.
And it went okay, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll, like, make a mistake and make me a writer.
Right.
Them hiring me at all would be, like, probably a mistake for them. So I was like, maybe I, like, could slide into the writer's room and, like, do a year and then get fired.
Right.
Right. I was like, that
or quit, do a Hannibal.
I was like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So they called me in. Oh, I got a call back, and then you audition at
the studio.
At the studio.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure you know, is a dark room.
Yeah.
And they're in there, but they're not
You can't
laughing.
see them, and you're on the stage.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Yeah.
And you're just, freestyling to a camera.
Yeah.
So I just did, like, stand-up again, and, there was no laughter or anything very much, so I just, walked out as soon.
Just kind of felt the weight of Lorne in the dark.
Yeah, I just felt like, okay, I didn't get this.
Yeah.
That's just what happened. I got to sit in somebody else's dressing room and look at how cool my life could be.
Yeah.
And I got to do that, and, I was very, like, appreciative for even getting to do that. And then I got a call again to meet with the writers. They were like, they might want to make you a writer.
Yeah.
And I never saw SNL before. I still to this point.
You still haven't watched it.
Now I get into, now I know it, but I never
from the inside.
But before I got the show, I didn't know about it.
Really?
I didn't know what it was.
I love that.
Which is really bad to say, but like, I didn't grow up really watching it.
Yeah.
I watched like SpongeBob.
Yeah,
like,
right.
know, Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Which is a Nickelodeon show. So, I had to like come.
And you're like what, 19?
I'm like, 19. And my agents were like, make sure you go in there and say like what your favorite stuff is from the show.
Yeah.
For the writers meeting. I'm meeting with the writers, and before I just YouTubed SNL.
Yeah.
And then I saw like all these the Will Ferrell Jeopardy sketches.
Yeah.
I've seen all those on YouTube.
Right.
So I have seen the show.
Right.
I just didn't know because everything was on YouTube.
Right.
I just thought they were weird Will Ferrell sketches.
Right.
Online.
Yeah.
So I said those, and I said Sandler, everything he does. And then they were like, we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And then I got called in to meet with Lorne.
Yeah.
And I go in there, and,
Are you nervous? Do you feel the weight of it? Or it's still like SNL doesn't mean that much to you?
I didn't, it's not that I didn't mean it. It would be incredible. It's just I have no idea what any of this is.
Yeah.
This is all so crazy to me.
Yeah.
I just, I'm just going to like, enjoy it. And then,
Right.
And I met with Lorne.
Are you high?
I was very,
When you went in?
I was high for every day. I was a high person
Yeah.
from 16 to 23 till like January.
Till like January. Yeah.
And now it's like occasionally or whatever. But, so I meet with him, and then I don't know if it goes well.
What happens?
I sit down, and, he's there, and he just starts talking to me about the show. And, I don't really remember much of it.
Did he say like what he thought you might do, or what you want? Did he ask you what you wanted to do?
He was kind of like, I think you're really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if it works best for the show.
Right.
You're very young.
Yeah.
But I think you're really funny.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
And then I left, and I didn't hear anything for a month.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I said, I was like, thank you so much for the meeting. I was like, really appreciate meeting with you. This was,
this was crazy.
This was crazy. Yeah. And then I got a call a month later, and it was Lorne. He was like, "Hey, you got the show. I'll see you at work." I couldn't believe what was going on. It was all so ridiculous to me because so I just assumed I was going to get fired at the end of the year. So I just figured I'd have a lot of fun.
So you went to work.
I went to work.
And what'd you do? What'd they start you out with?
I got to do stand up on Update.
Oh yeah.
So I got to like talk about sucking dick.
Yeah. So they bring you out as you.
Yeah, they bring me out as me, my first thing, and
Yeah.
the stand-up bit, I guess, went really well. And since then, I've remained on the show.
And you just sat there with who was Update then?
It was Colin and Michael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the first year
Right.
of it. So, yeah, and Lauren's been really great, and he's been really nice to me, and everybody's been super nice there, and I'm still there. Luckily.
Yeah. Are you doing characters?
I don't know how to do them. I mean, like if like once in a while there'll be like a guy that I look like that they'll be like, you're him,
Right. Right.
but like I'm not doing a good job at impersonating it at all.
Do you try to?
I do, but like it actually sounds worse than my regular voice. So I usually just
do it.
I'm myself in everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know how I'm still on the show.
Yeah.
but I'm very grateful.
So what are you doing out here?
I'm out here just doing some stand up, and just my girlfriend lives here, and
Hanging around?
I like it here a lot.
You do?
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Yeah. You find
Yeah.
that you're relaxed.
I'm very relaxed.
What's going on? What we talked about? The
BPD?
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I went to like rehab in like December.
Now, what leads up to? We're talking about borderline personality disorder,
Right.
and if you don't want to talk about it, tell me. But if
No,
you,
I can talk about it.
because it's fascinating to me.
Right.
Because it's like it's a really kind of mysterious diagnosis. It's hard to diagnose, and
Right.
it's very very specific. And I've dated a couple of people. One I know had BPD. The other one I'm sure doesn't think she does.
Right.
But it's a difficult diagnosis.
Yes.
And how did it manifest itself? How did you think you had it?
So I've been a pothead forever.
Yeah.
Right. And I started around October, I would say, September last year. Started having like these mental breakdowns where I would like freak out,
Like rage?
like and then not remember what happened after.
Really?
Yeah.
So blind rage.
Blind rage.
What would spark it?
I don't even know.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I apparently, like my girl, I was on the phone with her once, and then she like immediately was like, "Yeah, you just like snapped and like you like went."
And
nuts.
you didn't know no memory.
I had no memory of it. Like
Wow.
then, like later on, I would remember it like in pictures, kind of, and like kind of remember it like
Right.
in a fog.
Wow.
But like I wouldn't know what happened till after I broke something or after I came to. So I was under the assumption that I was like, maybe it's the weed.
Yeah.
I never really did any other drugs.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to try and go to rehab. My doctor.
For weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
So I go, and I get off weed, and, they told me they're like, you might be bipolar or whatever.
Right,
And
sure.
I was like, okay, so we're going to try you on these meds or whatever. And then I got out, and then I started smoking weed again. And
you're on meds.
I'm on meds. So
Yeah.
I was feeling a little better. So, 2 months go by, and I just snapped. I was smoking weed every day. I just like snapped, and like I had a really bad mental breakdown. So I like freaked out, and I was like, it has to be weed. I was
Yeah.
like, this is what it has to be. So I like said, I'm getting sober.
Yeah.
I'm quitting drugs. And I said, I quit drugs. And then like, I should have just kind of said, I'm quitting weed.
Yeah.
Because now people think I do drugs.
Right.
So like, I'm very embarrassed at this point. And like,
Did you tell the show?
I told the show, I was like, I'm quitting drug. Like, I thought everybody was telling me weed is a drug. You're a drug addict. You smoke weed all the time. And I was like, I guess I am a drug addict. I'm very scared, and I don't know what I have. This is like,
But it's mental.
I know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 months go by of this happening. So I was like, I'm gonna stop. I was like, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And I keep going to therapy. And then I didn't smoke or do, drink or anything for like.
And you're off the psych meds?
For 3 months. No, I'm still on them. Mm-hmm. I was on it for like 3 months. I didn't do anything, and I still felt the same. I still felt like something was fucked up and something was wrong, and I found out I have BPD, which is borderline personality disorder.
And who diagnosed that?
One of my psychiatrists, therapist, psychiatrist.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
all the same.
Sure.
I don't know which one it is.
And that and what what was the what were the sort of like, how did he do the interview that led him to that conclusion?
He was always saying like before this big meltdown happened, he was like, you know, you're probably bipolar or borderline. We just kind of have to figure it out. And then after that started happening, he was like, you're borderline. This is what it is.
Because you don't have prolonged depression.
Yeah. She was like, I'm depressed all the time, but like it whatever they said, they're really close, and it doesn't really come out until this age.
Really?
They were like, this is the age where it kind of.
But now, am I wrong in thinking that borderline is behavioral and bipolar is actually chemical?
I think so. I'm not like exactly sure,
I don't
they're
know
both
either.
so close, and what I'm being treated with is like called DBT skills.
Yeah,
which is dialectical behavior.
Yeah,
and they're both like this. They're treated kind of like the same.
So you're still on psych meds, and
yeah, I'm on new psych meds because it wasn't working. And I've been going to therapy every single day.
What are DBT things?
You know, just like a fear of it's like fear of abandonment.
Well, that's right. That's the big thing with the borderline.
Yeah. So, like, you learn, because I would always be like, I think everybody's mad at me. Everybody hates me. Like, I'm going to lose my friends. I'm going to lose my girlfriend. Like, my family hates me. And I would always just, like, be all around. I'd be worried all the time, and I'd be freaking out. And then this class, you know, teaches you how to use those skills and how to, like, be kind of independent. Is, I guess, the word.
To sort of say, to realize that, like your thoughts aren't necessarily real.
Right. Yeah. It's like steps to like thought processing. Like you have this thought, you have these feelings, you have these urges. You're gonna freak out. Try waiting it out 10 minutes.
Right.
Try going for a walk.
What's DBT stand for?
Dialectical behavior therapy.
And is it working?
It is working slowly but surely. Like I've been having a lot of problems. Like this whole year has been a fucking nightmare. Like
because of this.
This has been the worst year of my life. Like. For, you know, getting diagnosed with this and trying to figure out how to learn with this and live with this and, like, just learning all about it and going to doctors nonstop. It's getting better, but it's, like, it's taking a while.
And you go to therapy, like talk therapy every week?
I go to talk therapy, and I have, like, this book, and we go over, like, skills. And,
no
like,
kidding.
How to implement them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Do any of them track it to the loss of your dad?
Yeah. I mean, that's the big one. It was like, however I lived my childhood in fear and all of this stuff is related.
And also you were fundamentally, you know, violently abandoned.
Yeah. That's my big thing is trust. It's like, you know, one day he was here and then the next day, you know, they're gone. Like I used to have trouble when sometimes my mom would be like, I'm going out. You know, when people say they're leaving and coming back. Yeah. I get like a really big fear that they're not going to come back.
Well, I think isn't the prognosis pretty good? Like, especially if you're getting treatment. Like, I know that borderline is difficult to treat, but some people actually grow out of it.
Yes, some people grow out of it and eventually don't need to do any of this stuff anymore. So that's like what I'm going to therapy with the hope of.
Isn't that fascinating, though, in the way that, like, because you were conscious enough that you were 7 years old and you were emotionally attached and awake when that happened, when your father got killed, that, you know, that wired your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the person I knew who had it also had loss in her life around that age.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't comprehend what happened, but you do know that, you know, people can leave or die in, you know, one day.
Right.
And that's that.
Yeah.
Wow. And so the talk therapy is helping? What do you usually start with the day and track your feelings?
It's day by day.
Right.
Because, like, you know, you could wake up a completely different person.
Yeah.
You know, and
just submerged in depression.
Yeah, you just wake up and you're like, the world is coming in on you, and it's all about, like, getting out of that and using your tools.
Right.
And, like, going through this book. And, like, it's so hard and, like, lame.
Yeah.
But, like, once you, like, you know, actually do it and go through the book and you're like, I'm going to use this skill, or like hold ice is something, or take a cold shower, or listen to your favorite song really loud. It sounds fucking lame and annoying, but like when you do it, it actually kind of works.
Sure, because like if you engage in those habits, that eventually the neural pathways.
Yeah, you trick your brain.
Yeah, and you do it enough, it stays tricked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to try to get.
I have to convince myself I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Well, that's been like my goal.
Let's not go crazy. How about okay?
Right. Yeah. Okay. I would love to be okay, Mark. That would be incredible. I just to be okay would be incredible.
Yeah. I know the feeling, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing all right. So do you, it's good that there's treatment and that you you have support and you didn't blow up your relationship.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know how she's still with me. I mean, being in a relationship with someone, like myself must be incredibly difficult.
But engaging.
Yeah. I mean, it's always exciting.
Hands on.
Yeah. There's always something new for sure.
And sometimes like that, for certain people, it's like, what if their life's a little slow? Like,
right.
They can always like, well, he's guaranteed to keep
he's
me
a bundle of fun. Yeah. You're always on your toes.
So what happens now? When you go back to New York, you set up with people there to therapists and stuff?
Yeah, I have another set over there, so whenever I'm here, I can do it here, and whenever I'm there, I can do it there.
And when do you go back? Are you going to go back to, when's the season start?
Season starts, I think, September. Or
and you're in?
September. I'm in. So I made it back. So, yeah.
So you're going to figure out how to draw from the new diagnosis for your comedy.
Right. Well, I'm so happy, like, now that I know that something is, I always thought something was wrong, and then when you find out something is actually wrong, it's, like, very reassuring.
But it's weird because a lot of borderlines are very manipulative and have very black and white thinking. Did you have that stuff? Like,
I think the manipulation thing I definitely had, where I would try to make someone feel a certain type of way, and then if they felt that way, I would feel good.
Right.
But if they didn't feel that way, I would think something's wrong and that they're mad at me.
Oh, well,
so I would words, I would
Yeah.
try and sway people into saying the exact thing that I needed to hear.
But when you say you hate me, you don't really mean that, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly. I'm like, you hate me, don't you? And she's like, well, I'm like, you don't, it's always like whatever question I ask, I'm expecting the opposite answer.
Well, that's interesting. So like because now I'm just I'm doing self therapy. So like when you're with somebody who loves you, you're like, you don't love me.
Yeah.
That thing.
And she'll be like, of course I do. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, I know something's up. I know something's wrong. And that could be very fucking frustrating for the other person.
Oh, you just drain them. They're exhausted.
Draining them. They're just so strung out and tired of answering the same exact fucking questions.
You want to leave, right?
Yeah. You just want to pack up and get the fuck out of here, don't you? Yeah, you don't love me anymore.
And then when they finally break down, you're like, okay.
See, I knew it. Yeah. As soon as they have a break,
Or else you're like, all right, sorry, come on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm being crazy. I'm crazy. I have BPD.
It's either I knew it or I'm being crazy. All right, don't go.
It's exactly what it's like.
Oh, I think I had it.
You had.
I think I'm better, but I think I've avoided. All right, well, that was helpful.